Here's the thing I will tell you about what I personally have come to love about automated Facebook ads. There's no spelling errors. There's no targeting errors. There's no human mistakes. It's done perfectly every single time. And some agencies aren't going to have that problem because they're not as, badly organized as I have tended to be in my own business. But man, it's perfect every single time.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first in-person spotlight session. I'm Chase Buckner from High Level, and today I am joined once again by Sam Carlson from UpHex. Sam, thanks so much for coming by.
I'm excited. This is cool. Down here in Puerto Vallarta.
Came all the way down to Mexico to do a spotlight in person. Just kidding. He was on vacation, and we were lucky enough to be able to meet up.
Yeah, it's awesome. Excited to be here, man.
You having a good time?
Having a great time. Got the family down here. It's incredibly hot, but we're having a good time, man. This place is great.
This time of year is pretty humid. It's like we get 6 months of insane humidity and heat, and then we get 6 months of absolute perfection. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll take the humidity and the heat, I guess.
But
we're surfing, so we're having a good time.
It's the rainy season, and did you even get any rain? It usually happens at night.
At night, yeah. So I saw it on the forecast. I'm thinking, man, it's going to be rainy the whole time we're down here, but it's been great. Actually, sunny outside right now, so it's nice.
Nice. Well, if you didn't see the first episode or the first interview we did with Sam, you should check it out. That was in December, so like almost a year ago now. UpHex. I was super excited to do this because I love UpHex. I think it's such a beautiful complement to SaaS mode.
Yeah.
Because when I talk, and look, we all have different opinions of like, how much SaaS mode changes your agency. Should you go full SaaS, 50-50, whatever. But I love the idea of going pretty almost full SaaS, right? So like if I were to, leave High Level, start my own SaaS mode with High Level.
I don't, you shouldn't do that.
I would, it's tempting. It really is my retirement plan, to be honest. I would I would sell software. I would also sell websites because that's, in my background, and I love doing that. But I would not offer ads as a service in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
I would farm that out, or I would consider UpHex because it enables you, and correct me if I don't get this exactly right, but essentially you embed the ability for your clients to launch their own Facebook ads in your High Level account.
That's exactly right.
That's it in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, we're effectively replacing the middleman, the media buyer. We're replacing that middleman, and it's entirely automated. It's SaaS. It's 100% SaaS.
And it's super slick, right? We were just looking at the dashboard, and you can go see it in the old video, the first interview that we did. But like you basically, now when we went into that account, all we saw were medical. So as the agency owner, do I have the ability to say like, oh, well, I'm only in like the home services niche, so I don't want my clients seeing ads for other industries?
Yeah, so I came from the agency space. So what we looked at today was my actual practicing agency that is running ads for chiropractors, doctors, med spas, all that kind of thing. But UpHex has users that do insurance, real estate, roofing, trash cleaning, like trash can cleaning, and I mean everything. If it's a local based business, that's what we built it for. We built it for the agencies that were doing lead gen, and there's a lot of reasons why we built it, quite frankly, but at the end of the day, if you can position yourself in a way to where, I mean, the cost is better, but in a way to where it's like, hey, you have the ability to do this when you want. You don't have to learn ads, you don't have to learn Facebook ads manager, none of that stuff, and they can just click it and go. It's an incredible offering to add into your High Level account.
It is. And why I love it is because one of my mantras that I talk about all the time is whoever is being paid to generate leads is always the first line item to get chopped.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons that go into that, but that's just the truth, right? And so that's why the churn, if you're a lead gen agency and you're specializing in Facebook ads, your churn rate's going to be terrible. I know it is. It's just the way it goes.
Didn't you guys publish like 4 or 5 months ago? It was less than 2 months.
Yeah, typically, if you're a lead gen agency, the average is that you retain a client or between 1 and 3 months. 60+% churn rate. It's terrible. And it's typically not your fault, right? It's this misunderstanding that your clients have about leads. They think leads equal what they know, and what they know is referrals. And they're a world apart, right? So now we can fix some of that with high level, of course, using automations and feeding the leads into automations. But at the end of the day, your clients are just getting cold calls all day long from people promising better, cheaper leads. So it's only a matter of time, because they think it's not working with your leads because they suck, that they jump to the next person, or that they just decided it's a bad idea altogether. So what I love about UpHex is it gets you out of that world, that responsibility, but it still gives them the ability to run ads without having to figure out how to do it themselves through Facebook, because that's super confusing, right?
So last maybe about a week or two ago, we had a new user named Forrest Adsit. Shout out Forrest. And Forrest is in the insurance niche. I actually did an interview with him, and kind of like this, and just did a deep dive and said, how did you do what you did? Because in his trial, 2 weeks, he got 35 paying clients in 2 weeks. 35 paying clients.
Okay.
And continues to grow, obviously. And I said, how did you do that? I mean, I didn't even do that, you know? but I said, well, how'd you do that? And it's funny, because in that video, I popped up this organic post that he made on his timeline. And he said, the hook was launch ads in 45 seconds without ads manager or something like that.
Okay.
And then the block of copy after that was, I am no longer going to be focusing on teaching people how to run Facebook ads or Instagram ads, or even running their ads, when I could just do this, which is so much better, and like better results and better costs, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a conversation that you could tell his niche, so the insurance niche, had in their head, like, we're tired of dealing with agency people. We want something, we don't know what it is. And he put something in their head where it's like, I'm not teaching ads, which means, well, if you're not teaching ads, then what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not running ads. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that hook, that one hook all by itself, blew him up.
See, I already know how I would upsell it too, right? Because I'd be looking for businesses, and I'd have my checklist of SaaS mode features, right? Like, oh, hey, let's say I'm going after med spas like we used to work with. Hey, Dr. Susan, I noticed that, your website's not mobile friendly. You don't have a chat widget on there. I can't text your business. I called you guys and hung up, and you didn't text me back. Like, these are all things that my software can do for you. Get them excited, get them signed up on the software. And then I would be like, by the way, I've got an automation loaded up in here. If you ever wanted to run ads, they would feed right into this. And check this out, in the first 5 minutes, like, they'd be getting texts and voicemails and all this stuff. And you can actually turn on the ads whenever you want, because there was UpHex there. Like, you can just go in there and turn on an ad, and it'll feed right into this automation, and it'll perform way better than any Facebook ad you've ever run. I can tell you that right now. So that would kind of be how I would tee it up, and I know that it would work great, right? Because now it's like, oh, I would probably have that as an upsell too, right? Like, if you want to run ads or turn ads on, it's a little bit more per month, or maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, but I could see it going very, very well.
Yeah. Well, there's that value ladder thing, like whatever niche you're in, the thing that's going to hook them, that really captures their attention, is likely going to be the thing that they're tired of.
Yeah.
And so if you were to say all of those things, your chatbot, whatever it is, and that's your entry into that business, well, that's great. But in terms of lifetime value of that client, that's one. And then retention, like how long you keep them.
Yeah.
You got to have other things. Joe Rare, Joe, yeah, we did a training a couple weeks ago, and he said something really, really smart. I've heard it before, but when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, this is important. And he said, whatever product, whatever service you do for someone, just by the nature of giving them that service, you will create a problem for them. Okay. So for example, the reason that lead generation companies have such a high level of churn is because leads are not sales.
Sure.
Okay. So what do you create? You're creating a problem where that lead needs to be turned into the next thing, which is an appointment or whatever that is.
Yep.
Okay. And anticipating that and being ready to upsell them at which point in time you can is how you actually retain, keep, and deliver extra value, i.e. make more money in your agency, right? So in my own agency, we offer Apex as a DIY SaaS thing, okay? But we have an onboarding process to where we're trying to identify how well are they doing with, because some people can take leads and turn them into sales.
Sure.
How well are they doing with our leads? Do they need help? Are they pretty novice? Boom. If they need help, we are proactively in front of them before the problem hits. We're saying, looks like you're not hitting your, like, the target KPI of how many appointments you should have. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you into this next level of service and teach you at the same time. If you want to come back down, you can, but it makes no sense to be spending money on ads if you're not going to get appointments. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And people love that.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what we teach, right? It's like, hey, if you're doing lead gen, you need to have automation behind it. We've got this Fast 5 recipe. It's like ready to go. And then you need to be driving them into bookings. Because as you said, 90% of the time a booking needs to happen before you take a lead to a sale. So let's make sure you have calendars set up and whatnot. And then when a booking happens, we need to make sure they show up, right? So we have another recipe for that. I would have that all teed up, right? And it would be such a beautiful presentation because I'm like, oh, like you love what the software is doing. It's generating leads off the chat widget and all this stuff. Yeah, like if you ever want to like throw fire on that with some ads, let me show you why ads typically fail. And I would just do the spiel I just did with you, right?
Yeah.
Most people are used to referrals. I'm sure you are, but like leads don't mean anything if you can't turn them into bookings, right? And so, and then to just be able to say, yeah, you can just do it yourself. You just go into the ad section and put in the budget that you want to spend. And it removes, what I love about it is it removes the scary part from the client, right? They think the agency is like
out to get them,
and it, you know, they're so skeptical. But this, it's like, no, we're not. You do it. Like, you go put the amount you want in. It's not going to spend any more than what you put in there. And I think it's just, it flips the dynamic, which is what I love about it. I also love that you guys, you know, you have the experience to know what templates work. And, you know, we're just kind of like scratching the surface with templates. We have a whole new world of templates that we just rolled out like 160 new website templates. We've got all these new email templates coming and all this kind of stuff. And so I was excited when we were talking about, I used to work with a lot of med spas. I went into the example, I picked med spa, and then it gave me more examples. And one of them was body sculpting. And I was like, oh, that's great. Cause like we used to do a ton of cool sculpting ads and stuff. And so I click in, I see a bunch of beautiful ads to pick from. The copy was awesome. So it really is, I think, a solution that the market is looking for. I mean, every time we drop templates, everybody lights up because it's what the market's looking for.
Yeah, I think that there's always an evolution of different things. And I think that High Level kind of introduced a new, you can say, you said some people are not excited about SaaS mode as much. I say,
they just haven't seen the light.
Well, or they're going to be late.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to be late. I mean, the risk is that you do the same, the things the same way they have been done. And maybe you're in this really obscure niche and you can get away with it. Chances are you're not. And if you're not, then somebody who's using an Apex or these different SaaS features, they're going to come and take your lunch.
Sure.
You know, and not only that, they're going to be delivering better results. Here's the thing I will tell you about what I personally have come to love about automated Facebook ads. There's no spelling errors. There's no targeting errors. There's no human mistakes. It's done perfectly every single time. And some agencies aren't going to have that problem because they're not as, you know, badly organized as I have tended to be in my own business. But man, it's perfect every single time.
It's crazy that Facebook lets you do all that through the API. When you first showed it to me, I was like, wait, what? How are you doing this? How is Facebook allowing you to do all this? But clearly their API is super robust when it comes to running ads because and I like how you've smartly buried the advanced figures because the features, you don't really want your clients tweaking a lot of stuff, but they could if they wanted to. And so I just think it's really, it's genius to me. It's like, I mean, I get it, right? Like marketers are supposed to be advanced people that, you know, want every single option under the sun. But it is complicated. Every time, I haven't run ads in a long time, so every time I go to do it, I'm like, what the heck? Like, the Facebook interface changed so much.
Yeah.
I'm lost immediately. So to be able to do it in like 3 clicks, I think is pretty.
To be able to have
Powerful.
a person that knows nothing. I mean, you're a smart guy, as far as technically, all that kind of stuff, to be able to have a person who is not like a local business, a
Sure,
doctor,
yeah.
in my case, that is what you're doing. Again, removing the media bar. Now, this is not like an e-commerce platform. Like, this is a service-based, it was built for lead generation agencies.
Sure.
So you're not going to get in here. This is not an ad set game where we're like getting crazy with ad sets and doing all kind of that ad set testing. It's you have proven creative, upload that into a library, and then let your clients click them and they go. That's what it is.
So that's the thing. And anybody who's been doing lead gen for a while knows it's the same stuff in every industry, right? It's like we all have offers. They're pretty similar. They're just, the wording's changed to the industry, and some work better than others. And once you figure those formulas out, you use it for every client, right? It's not
Exactly
you're not
right.
reinventing the offer for every client. If you're a good agency, you're telling your new client what works,
Yeah.
and they're
exactly.
listening to you, and you run the same ad that you ran for your other 50 clients, right?
That's exactly right.
And so that aspect's not rocket science, but what's awesome is that you got beautiful creative made for all those offers, and you put it into that library there, and it's ready to go.
Yeah. And
How many industries do you have?
Well, so we have templates that people can use. And I think if I were to guess, I think it'd be probably about 15 different industries. But obviously, when people have whatever agency you have, you're going to come in and you'll see available templates to use. I'm not an expert in roofing or in, HVAC or any of that plumbing, any of that kind of stuff. So you'll find templates as a starting point to say, hey, okay, I see how targeting is set up on this. It's incredibly easy to do, but we like our agencies when they come in to have just something to look at. And so that's why they're there. They're not we're not saying, hey, come in and we're going to give you proven marketing campaigns from all the niches in the world, because how would I have time to become an expert in all?
Sure,
niches,
yeah.
right. But when people come in, they'll have templates that they can start from. But starting, if you're an agency, UpX is perfect. If you have an agency of 5 clients and like that's what you got, you're going to have proven campaigns.
Sure.
If you've got 5 clients, you're going to have proven campaigns. When you go in and start your first campaign, going back to that case that I did with Forrest, I remember he asked me on that demo call we did it like a week before or the day before we started Rand. And he said, how long will this take me to set up my UpX account? Thinking it would be some big, long process. And I said, well, he had 12 different templates that he wanted to do. I said, probably take you about 2 hours to get in there and get through the process. He said, it took 2 hours. But he did it one time, that 2 hours, and those campaigns now, he never has to create them again. I mean, other than optimizing or whatever, but he never has to create them again. Yeah. And they're available to all of his clients. The 35 people that signed up during his trial, they're available to all those people, right?
It's so, we used to run Botox ads, right? And we had run them for so many people in so many different regions. We knew that we could basically guarantee you were going to get sub $15 Botox leads. So I just put that in to UpX, right? And then every client I get can just run that same campaign.
You want to know what's even cooler?
And I know they're going to be getting leads for 15 or less bucks.
You want to know what's even cooler about that too? That exact example, you could put in your Prove It Botox campaign and you could have 40 people running that campaign. And we in UpX, we aggregate all of the performance metrics inside of one template, which means instead of going into every individual account and like micro optimizing, you macro optimize.
And it changes all the campaigns that are running? Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, you'll go in there. And so like, for example, let's say you're testing a price point. Does $47 work or does $49 work? 47. And you'll just wait and get feedback. And then you're like, well, 49 works better. Boom, change that. And so before long, instead of thinking, maybe, this person who's optimizing our back end and jumping in, jumping out and so focused on a campaign, maybe the better thing to do is to jump back and say, how proven your targeting isn't going to change on a local campaign.
Right.
Your targeting isn't going to make or break you. It's your creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's the images, it's the videos, it's the offer, it's that.
Sure.
And so if you refine that and dial that in, your templates, my templates in my agency are bulletproof. I can tell somebody within like
That's
a certain
sweet.
dollar
So then
amount.
you do need to make a change. It just makes across the board. You don't have to go in and
Mhm.
every ad account.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. That's very cool. So when did you start this? How long has this been going on?
Well, UpX has been doing this to my own agency for like 2.5 years, I think. Ish.
Mhm.
And then we launched UpX to the high level community in December.
Oh, right.
When
That was
this-
at the beginning. Huh?
So yeah.
That's very cool. And how many agencies do you have using it now?
I was just gonna say, I was just looking at it earlier. I was checking the email I sent, and I think it's like 40 something.
Nice.
But the more impressive metric is this. 1,135 total campaigns launched without an agency.
It's amazing.
1,135 where people just clicked and boom, off they go.
It's pretty powerful. And again, I think it's the perfect complement to SaaS mode if you're trying to go less services, more software.
Yeah.
Which to me, once people sit down and actually understand SaaS mode and what we're doing here, they want to do that. They're just kind of like, I'm scared because I can't envision how I'm going to do that. Right. Like I can't envision how I'm going to go. Like I've spent the past 2 years trying to build this services-based, business.
Yeah.
You're telling me I'm never going to fix this churn problem. And you're telling me software's churn is so amazing. How do I get, how do I go from here to here? And to me, I think this could help a lot of people. Like I,
It's
want to offer ads,
Yeah.
but like, I don't want to deal with the churn and the pain that comes with it. Just let them do it themselves.
Let them do it themselves. And then when and make your job to focus on, okay, leads are great, but whatever their outcome is, how are we going to deliver that to them? Right. With UpX, you bolt this thing on. That's what Adam Lucky, he's in high level group as well. Shout out, Adam. Doing all the shout outs. That's what he calls it. He's like, I bolted on this thing. Right. And
yeah.
Because
I hate to break it to everybody, but like leads are a commodity, right? Like Billy Jean, who's now on Team High Level, which is fantastic. Shout out to Billy while we're shouting. Shout out. He's made an insane career out of taking people off the street and teaching them how to make money running Facebook ads for people, right? Like, because it's not hard to do. It's not hard to generate leads. And Facebook's mission is to make it so easy that they don't need an agency to run ads for them, right? They should be able to do it themselves. But that's not what makes a business money, right? You said leads are not sales. Leads are not profit. Leads are, they're a commodity. And so I think if you just let them run the ads and generate the leads, and you focus on what we know needs to be done after that, right? Which again, you can do with high level, turning leads into bookings on somebody's calendar, because Dr. Susan knows what to do when someone shows up for that first, Botox promotional visit.
Yeah.
She can take it from there. She knows how to close it, right? What she doesn't know what to do is, oh, you sent me somebody's name and email. What do I do from here? She doesn't know what to do there. So I think that's kind of the mindset shift that we're trying to help people make. And then this bolts on to the top of the funnel pretty nicely.
It bolts on, and high level has been obviously a big, is the reason that it bolts on. It bolts on to high level. But we're trying to bolt on to other stuff in high level. We're trying to bolt on to Eliza right now. I don't know if
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
well, the other new thing that you did is
Yeah.
you guys rolled out messenger campaigns too, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. So they can launch messenger campaigns themselves inside of UpX, inside of high level now too. Huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's very meta.
Yeah, that
Not
is.
Facebook meta, but meta.
That's cool. I never did much because when I left the agency, I don't know if it was still pretty new. I feel like messenger campaigns. So
I personally, listen, UpX is built for the agencies that use it. That started out as mine. But every person who comes on and says, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? Hey, what about this? that feedback goes directly to me or Bradley or Jacob. And shout out Bradley, Jacob, shout outs. But and we look at that, and Messenger was one of I've never run a Messenger campaign.
Really?
Never. And the agency that brought it to us was like, hey, we do very well with these. We get leads at like $2 and appointments at $15
Wow.
in a similar niche to mine. Maybe I should get into Messenger ads.
Yeah.
So we built it. And when we built it, I reached out to Joe Ringer, who you know.
Yep.
And I said, listen, what I do know about Messenger ads is they will produce 0 results if somebody's not sitting on the back end of that conversation. Enter Eliza. Right?
Yeah.
And so I said, could you guys plug into the back end for anybody who's using UpX to do this, what we're calling super SaaS mode? Could you plug into the back end of them and then live engage and advance, whether it's a booking, whatever it is, those people? He goes, absolutely. That's what we do. And we're calling that super duper SaaS.
I love it. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, you can build automations because the Facebook Messenger conversations come into high level. And so you could get like, make them say a specific word that triggers a campaign. But yeah, the best results are when you have human rollover.
Yeah. And if you can bolt that on, so that's another, because now it's not leads, it's bookings, right? It's appointments. And so that's not going to be the same price point because you're not delivering the same outcome.
Oh, for sure. Offering human rollover services.
Huge. Exactly. High ticket. So, but you can just attach that with, if you have automated campaigns and then plug level 9 right into the back end and Eliza and all those cool tools, everything is bolt on, and you're running an agency so long as you just know how to acquire the clients. And when you offer this, it gets easy. I mean, anyway.
Well, the other part I love is like, we teach people, hey, sell them on the software so that's running on a subscription, and then sell your services as a separate like recurring invoice or subscription, however you want to do it. Because when the day comes when they want to turn off Facebook ads, which we know comes typically between 1 and 3 months later, you don't have to do the big song and dance, right? Because they could just go toggle off their ad campaign themselves in the software. You don't even have to have a conversation about it.
No.
Right. And it's usually an awkward conversation that doesn't go very well. And me, like I was telling you, I hate sales. Like I don't want to have those conversations. Like you don't want to run ads anymore. You just go toggle it off. I love it. Yeah,
I think whatever your agency is doing, you make it very difficult on yourself if you are that old way. There's so many in sales. They say a tactic known as a tactic blown. Okay, and when we first started doing ads to whoever the end user was, they were so blown away by the ability to generate that many leads that quickly, which that's what Facebook does. But over time, those people now are annoyed by that thing. And so you gotta find a way to transform that thing back to something they want, but not offer it the same way. Right. And I feel like that's what we're doing with UpX and integrated directly into high level. So
I do think there's a mindset thing that I feel like could be fleshed out there, right? If you're paying an agency to generate, like you said, a ton of leads off Facebook, like when the first time a business does it, like, this is amazing, like 200 leads, like what is this? Oh my gosh. But then they quickly realize like these are leads off Facebook, right? Like a bunch of them are just, dumbasses who clicked like yes and had no intention in redeeming your offer or whatever. But like we need to sift them out. Like somebody needs to do this. Hey, we can do it with software, right?
Yeah.
But I think once they realize that, they're kind of like mad at the agency, right? I feel like it's the agency that absorbs all the negativity around the truth of running ads, which is why I like this, because it's like, no, I didn't.
And then the agency gets mad. And then the agency gets mad because like, I delivered you 200 leads.
Exactly. And you get into that famous fight, which your leads suck, now you suck at sales and this and that. And so,
productive to keep clients on board, right?
I love the idea. I really think psychologically it's a way different thing if I say, oh, by the way, if you ever want to run ads, let me tell you why that usually goes wrong. Our software can fix that and you can turn it on yourself if you want.
Boom.
That feels pretty low pressure, right? That feels low. there's no magic beans, which I feel like is the way clients look at agencies that are doing lead gen, like, oh, you have these magic beans, my expectations are sky high, and then quickly they come crashing down. So yeah, I love it. So what's the URL again? Upex.com?
Yeah. Upex, that's how you spell it, upex.com. And we do a 14-day trial. So it's a free trial for 14 days. You can get in and mess around with it. If it's not for you, that's okay. And we'll even onboard you. Like, you know, we have some people are like, oh, it's 3 steps. It's not hard to do. But if you're trepidatious for whatever reason, set up an onboarding call. We'll do the 3 steps with you. That's how easy it is. And it works incredibly well. You know, we got lots of 1,135 campaigns that gone.
I'm fascinated. And, you know, like I said, once I retire and start my white label, I'll definitely be checking it out. So if you guys, if it sounds good to you, check it out, upex.com. I think we're going to split and go get some tacos.
Let's do it, man. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.